Pay close attention, because what you're about to hear has the power to transform your life. Or you can choose to ignore it and continue stuck in the same routine as always, naively hoping that happiness will magically appear out of nowhere. But let me tell you something with total clarity. Happiness is not something you simply find. It's something you build with intention. And if you keep believing that some external force is going to hand it to you, chances are you'll spend the rest of your days feeling empty, watching others make progress while you remain paralyzed. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 fundamental actions you must put into practice if you truly want to be happy. These are not personal opinions or simple advice. They are truths, hard-hitting realities that very few are willing to accept because they hurt, because they demand commitment and sacrifice, but they are the only ones that truly work. And no, I'm not going to sugarcoat it with empty inspirational quotes. I'm going to share with you what almost no one dares to say out loud. Because if you're here, it's because there's a part of you that's crying out for change, a part that can no longer tolerate mediocrity, lack of meaning, and that nagging feeling of letting days pass by without purpose. If you truly long to turn your life around, listen carefully until the end, because what I'm about to tell you is far too valuable to ignore. First lesson, assume that no one is coming to rescue you. Yes, I know it's hard to accept, but it's the truth. No one is going to show up to solve your problems. There's no hidden savior or sudden stroke of luck that will transform your life overnight. Everything, absolutely everything, depends on you. Until you truly understand this, you'll remain trapped in the role of the victim, dragged along by circumstances. It's easier to point fingers, blame your environment, repeat that the world is unfair, that the system is against you, that your family, your partner, your boss, or even the government is to blame for your unhappiness. But as long as you focus on excuses, you'll never see the path to real solutions. The only person who has the power to change your life is you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll start taking control of your destiny. Happiness isn't handed to you like a gift. It's earned through effort. Don't expect the world to treat you fairly, because it won't. Don't expect someone else to come and bring order to your chaos, because that's not going to happen. And you know what? That's not a tragedy. It's the best thing that could happen to you. Because if everything depends on you, then you have the power to create a new reality. But this is where most people stumble. They hear this, feel a brief spark of inspiration, a momentary fire that burns for a few minutes, and then they return to the same old habits. Why does this happen? Because change is uncomfortable. Because your mind clings to what it knows, even if what it knows is a gray, limited, unfulfilling existence. The comfort zone might be miserable, but it's still comfortable. Now tell me something. Would you rather stay stuck in a meaningless but safe life? Or will you dare to do whatever it takes to build real happiness? If you're here reading this to the end, it's because deep down you already know the answer. But this is where most people back down. They know what they have to do, but they don't dare to take the leap. Are you going to be one of those who stay stuck in good intentions? Or will you be part of the small group who actually take action? Think carefully. And if you're truly ready to act, start right now. Subscribe to the podcast, because something as simple as clicking a button could be the first step toward a different life. It could be the difference between staying in the same place as always, or finally daring to transform your existence. If you want to keep receiving messages that wake you up, that challenge you, that force you to move, make sure you're here when I publish the next episode. Don't leave your growth to chance. Take the reins, do it now. Second lesson, free yourself from invisible addictions. When I mention the term addictions, I'm not only referring to substance use like alcohol or drugs. There are other, much more dangerous forms of dependence, precisely because they're not visible, because they hide in plain sight and, without you realizing it, keep you trapped in a life you didn't consciously choose. These silent addictions are the most common and the most devastating. I'm talking about your constant need for distraction, your dependence on social media, the time you spend in front of the TV, your habit of procrastinating, that urge to seek entertainment all the time. We live immersed in an environment carefully designed to keep our minds busy and distracted. And do you know why? Because while you're entertained, you don't reflect. And if you don't think, you don't change either. Every time you spend hours consuming empty content, every time you decide to put off what you know you should be doing, every moment you choose immediate gratification instead of working towards something with long-term purpose, you're sabotaging your own well-being. And the most concerning part is that you're doing it by choice. Have you ever asked yourself why so many people live with a constant sense of dissatisfaction? It's because they've replaced genuine happiness with a superficial version of it. They've traded personal growth for momentary pleasure. They've chosen easy comfort over the commitment it takes to move forward. And then, they don't understand why they feel a deep, lingering emptiness inside. But here's the truth that very few are willing to face. Real happiness isn't achieved by avoiding effort. It's found by confronting it. It's not built by filling your days with empty stimulation. It's built by creating something meaningful, something with value. If you truly want to transform your life and reach fulfillment, you have to break free from these invisible addictions. I'm not telling you to eliminate every source of pleasure completely, but you do need to learn how to control them, to take charge, to stop letting instant gratification become your escape from the life you truly want to build. And now, pay close attention, because what I'm about to share with you next might just be the missing piece you need to leap into that purpose-driven life you've been longing for. Third lesson, stop waiting for everything to be in place. If you keep putting off your decisions, waiting for that perfect moment to act, let me be completely honest with you. You're going to be waiting your entire life. The ideal moment doesn't exist. There's no perfect day. There's no magical second when everything will suddenly fall into place and you'll feel, with absolute certainty, that the time has come to begin. That's a lie you keep telling yourself to justify your lack of action. How many times have you said, "When I have more time, I'll start working out"? How many times have you thought, "When I have more money, I'll invest in myself"? And how many times have you told yourself, "When I feel more motivated, I'll change my life"? Don't fool yourself. All of that is just excuses, because when that supposed moment arrives, you'll come up with a new excuse. Then another one. And like that, little by little, life slips away, in an endless wait, while others move forward, build, grow, and achieve the very things you could also achieve. If only you made the decision to take that first step. Let me be clear with you. The perfect moment isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And you create it by taking action, even when doubts are present, even when fear is there, even if you feel like you're not fully ready. Because the truth is, you'll never feel 100% ready. And if you keep waiting to feel completely secure, you'll never start anything. True happiness comes from progress, not perfection. And every day you spend waiting is a day lost. It's time you could have used to move forward, to grow, to change your life. So tell me, are you going to keep delaying your well-being, your fulfillment, your transformation? Or are you going to take the step today, with what you have, from where you are? I can promise you this. A year from now, you'll look back and wish you had started today. So make a firm decision. Commit to yourself. And if you're truly ready to reprogram your mindset and turn your life around, leave me a comment below. Tell me with conviction that you're ready to change, and show that you're part of that small group of people who, instead of just talking, actually take action, who do what's necessary. Fourth lesson, learn to enjoy your own company. Many people are deeply afraid of being alone. They run from solitude as if it were a threat. They surround themselves with people they don't truly connect with, just to avoid being alone with themselves. They take refuge in empty relationships, in shallow friendships, in constant noise, all to avoid facing their inner silence. And do you know what that reveals? That they can't stand being alone with their own thoughts. That they haven't developed a mindset strong enough to remain calm when they're by themselves. But here's a truth you need to hear. If you don't learn to be with yourself, you'll never experience true happiness. Because you'll live dependent on external factors to feel good, constantly needing other people's validation, enslaved by what others think of you. Authentic happiness is born from emotional freedom, from knowing you can be at peace without anyone's presence, from feeling that you by yourself are enough. No noise, no distractions, no external approval. So here's a concrete challenge I want to give you. Start spending time with yourself. No social media, no television, no mind-numbing distractions. Just you and your mind. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, maybe even unsettling. But if you can push through that discomfort, you'll strengthen your inner world in a way you never imagined possible. And once you finally learn how to be alone, you'll discover a powerful truth. Happiness doesn't come from what others give you. It comes from what you build within yourself. Fifth lesson, train your mind every day. Your body doesn't become stronger by accident. If you want to build muscle, you need to train. If you long for endurance, you must practice. If you want to be stronger, you have to push yourself constantly. So tell me, why do you think your mind is any different? Happiness doesn't depend solely on luck or genetics, it's a skill. And like any skill, it's developed through practice. But here's the problem. Most people do train their minds, yes, but to become weak, not strong. They fill their heads with negative thoughts. They surround themselves with people who only complain. They consume junk content that offers absolutely no value. They feed their inner world with fear, insecurity, and excuses. And then they ask, why do I feel bad? Why don't I have confidence? Why can't I find motivation? The answer is clear. But you can't afford to keep going down that road. If you truly long to live fully, you need to start training your mind every single day. How do you do it? Start with what you choose to consume, what you watch, what you listen to, what you read. Everything you allow into your mind shapes how you think. If you immerse yourself in negativity, you'll end up thinking negatively. If you surround yourself with complaints and excuses, you'll become someone who complains too. But if you expose yourself to knowledge, discipline, and personal growth, then you'll begin to transform into someone stronger, more grounded, more focused. So do this. Dedicate a moment every day to strengthening your mind. Listen to content that uplifts you. Read books that challenge you. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. Fill your mind with thoughts that help you advance, not the ones that hold you back. Because the real difference between an ordinary existence and an extraordinary life lies in how you choose to train your mindset. And now comes the moment to decide. Are you going to keep feeding your weaknesses, or are you going to start building a solid, unshakable mentality? If you've made it this far, it's because a part of you already knows it's time for a deep change. And I want you to know something very important. You are not alone on this journey. Here at Stoic Lessons, we are not just a podcast. We're a movement, a community devoted to constant mental training, a space where day after day you'll face truths that might hurt, but are necessary. Because we understand that only by facing reality with courage can true transformation happen. So if you're committed to your growth, if you're ready to leave mediocrity behind and build a life with purpose, join us. Subscribe right now and become part of this community. Don't let this message fade into just another fleeting burst of motivation. This is your moment. Don't let it slip away.